no questions?
Yeah, excited to get our season started this week. I like our team. We've got warts like every team has early in the year, and it'll take a little bit of time to work those out, and we're going to get exposed pretty early on with the strength of the schedule we're playing. But we had a good exhibition this week. I told you guys we have a small roster and we have to stay healthy, and knock on wood, we've done that through preseason, and so we're excited to finally get into game week. So with that, I'll take questions.
Coach, I guess just to start, the press release came out just a little bit ago for the WKU Hall of Fame class. Of course, you were inducted along with a couple others. What does that mean to you?
It's really kind of hard to put into words. It's the ultimate honor to be included with the people that I grew up on here at Western Kentucky. Again, I know I'm the old guy that's been here for 30 years as the head coach now, but I was once a student walking around that hill, and I had so much admiration for the Jimmy Fikeses and the Clem Haskins and the Paul Sandifords and all the men and women that came before me. And to be in this situation and for that to be an honor that's going to be bestowed upon me, I'm just filled with gratitude. I've always said my whole entire career that I've never felt like a college volleyball coach. I've always felt like the Western Kentucky volleyball coach, and this is a very reaffirming moment, for that mentality for sure.
Moving into the team in itself, I know you said that first exhibition out of the way, finally getting to see different competition there. What did you really see from this team whenever they were put to test?
Yeah, we've got a lot of kids that can play. This is as deep a team as we've had. It's ironic to say because I told you it's the smallest roster we've had in many, many years, but it's also the deepest team we've had in many, many years. We only have 12 kids on our roster, and I honestly believe you'll see 12 kids play most weekends. It's going to be the challenge for our team is going to be, can I step aside and let someone else do it today if I'm not in a good rhythm without it impacting me confidence-wise, because that's going to be the thing this team will face, because it's not you're playing poorly, get out of there. It's, hey, we've got another kid that can do it. If you can't find your rhythm, she probably can. And boy, that's a comforting thing for a coach to have in place.
Kind of going off of that, it has to feel good, especially whenever you start on the road as well as kind of like a tournament in itself. So you're playing back-to-back days, and so if you have someone that maybe they're on this day and maybe they're not on the next, and you have somebody that you can throw in there.
No question that's going to be put to the test in these first 4 weeks when we're playing, 3 times in 2 days. We'll have days where we're playing twice in the same day against top 25 teams, and so there's no question that depth is going to be put to the test. But we're going to find out a lot about ourselves, at the same time. And, I like where this team is. What will that mean over the course of the season? I don't know. Depends on what you're measuring it by. If you're, right now I'm measuring it by, how did we do recruiting and how did we do developing players in the last 9 months that we've been in an off season. And I think we check a lot of boxes in terms of that. And now it's time to go see where we stack up.
For you and your staff, like you said, 3 games in 2 days, how does that change? How much prep do you do for the first game, and then how much, of course you've got Kentucky on the back end of that.
Yeah.
How does that, as a staff, how do you guys look at that and operate when you go into those 3 matches?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a scramble here, in these first few weeks, especially the first week you're flying blind a lot. Like you haven't seen any film on them, they haven't seen any film on you, but early in the year, I've always believed winning and losing is been more about doing what we do well. I think if you spend too much time trying to stop them, then you get away from doing what you've spent your entire preseason doing. And so, we'll just do what we do. We'll make slight adjustments based on what's going on in the match. And, certainly the first match of the year when we play Morehead State, like they know nothing about us. We know nothing about them. And it's just, let's go play. After that, you'll at least have seen each other a little bit, but I think you can have a little bit of paralysis by analysis if you give your kids too much early in the season to focus on, other than, because ultimately, if we do what we do well, we'll be in a position to win a lot. And that's what we'll do for the most part. And then, as the weeks go by, you start having more and more good information about whoever it is you're going to play.
It's kind of a cool field. It seems like, too, playing 3 in-state opponents to start the season. Seems like that's a good thing for volleyball in the state of Kentucky.
It is. It's a great thing for volleyball in the state of Kentucky. I think one of the most underreported stories, and I don't necessarily mean by our local media, I just mean in general across the state, is the fact that for, 5 years or so now, the state of Kentucky has had 3 teams in the top 25 every year. And that's pretty remarkable if you think about it. And, you primarily think about California and all these other places when you think the sport of women's volleyball. And for Kentucky, this state to have 3 top 25 teams, when there's 350 Division I teams out there, like that's a pretty remarkable thing. And, and Kentucky, is renovated. They were out of their building, Memorial Coliseum, for the last year, doing a total renovation. And so they wanted to kind of open it up with in-state teams and just bring teams from Kentucky into this. So it's going to be a great event in that regard. It's going to be 4 teams that all have success. Morehead State's been one of the best teams in the OVC for many, many years. Northern Kentucky has made an immediate rise in Division I since they joined Division I volleyball. We've been in some long battles with them in the last couple matchups. Liz does a great job coaching that group. And then, Kentucky's number 9 in the country in a preseason. They're one of the elite. And so it's just putting on display for kids throughout this part of the country that they can come to the state of Kentucky and look many different directions and find quality volleyball programs. And so it'll be a fun celebration of the sport in our state this weekend. Anything else? All right.
All right, if we're good on questions,